For 40 years, Harold ate brown rice every single night. His doctor told him to. His wife told him to. Every magazine in the waiting room told him to. Brown rice is healthier. End of story. Then at 74, his routine blood test came back with something unexpected. His doctor noticed higher than expected levels of a certain heavy metal. That moment completely changed the way Harold eats forever. And here's the surprising part. It had nothing to do with choosing brown rice or white rice. It was all about how you prepare it. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly which rice belongs on your plate, and why everything they told us our whole lives was only half the truth. Stick with me, because what I'm about to show you is going to surprise you. You and I grew up hearing the same story. Brown rice is good, white rice is bad, simple as that. And honestly, it made sense. The doctor says eat whole grains. The news says eat whole grains. Your kids come home from college, and suddenly they are telling you brown rice is the only rice you should touch. So you switch. You eat brown rice even though you liked white rice better. You force yourself because you want to be healthy. You want to be around for your grandchildren. You do the right thing. And here is what nobody can argue with. Brown rice does have real benefits. 1 cup of cooked brown rice gives you about 6 times more fiber than white rice. It gives you 4 times more magnesium, which is the mineral your heart, your muscles, and your sleep all depend on. It has B vitamins. It has natural compounds that fight cell damage. These are real facts. Nobody is making this up. But here is the part they forgot to mention. There is a second chapter to this story, and it changes everything. A study that came out recently from Michigan State University looked closely at different types of rice grown right here in America. What they found made researchers rethink how they talk about brown rice. Because the outer layer of brown rice, the part that gives it all those wonderful nutrients, that same layer also holds something you do not want in your body. Let me take you back to the rice field for a moment. Imagine a wide, flat field flooded with water. That is how rice grows. It sits in standing water for months. Now, the soil under that water naturally contains a substance. This substance has a complicated name, but you may have heard of it. It is called arsenic. Arsenic exists in soil all over the world. It is natural, but rice is different from other crops. Rice absorbs this substance from the water at a much higher rate than wheat or corn or vegetables. It pulls it in like a sponge. Now, here is the key. When the rice plant absorbs this substance, where does it go? It concentrates in the outer layers, the bran, the husk, the part that stays on brown rice and gets removed from white rice. The FDA tested over 600 rice products sold in American stores. They found that white rice had about 92 parts per billion of this substance. Brown rice had about 154. That is roughly 70% more in every single cup you eat. Now, why such a big difference? Because the process of making white rice involves stripping away those outer layers. The bran comes off, the germ comes off, and with them goes a large portion of the arsenic. Brown rice keeps those layers on. That is why it has more nutrients. But it is also why it holds more of what you do not want. Think of it like an apple. The skin has vitamins, but if someone sprayed something harmful on it, the skin also has more of that harmful thing. Same idea with rice. Now, before you panic, let me be very clear. This does not mean brown rice is poison. Nobody is saying throw it away. Millions of people eat it safely. What it means is that the amount you eat and the way you cook it matters a lot more than people realize. If you eat brown rice once or twice a week, the risk is very small. If you eat it twice a day, every single day for years, that is a different conversation. And I am going to show you exactly how to handle this. But first, there is a second thing hiding in that outer layer. The outer layer of brown rice also contains something called phytic acid. The name sounds complicated, but what it does is very simple to understand. Imagine a tiny magnet sitting inside your gut. Every time you eat brown rice, these little magnets grab onto the minerals like calcium, iron, and zinc before your body can absorb them. They just hold on tight and carry those minerals right out of your system. Now think about why this matters after 60. Your bones need calcium. Your blood needs iron. Your immune system needs zinc. These are the exact nutrients your body is already struggling to hold on to as you get older, and this substance in brown rice is quietly stealing them. Harold's wife, by the way, had been dealing with low iron for years. Her doctor kept increasing her iron supplement. She ate spinach. She ate red meat. She did everything right. Nothing seemed to work. When Harold told her what he learned, she was shocked. She'd been eating brown rice with almost every meal, and phytic acid combined to minerals like iron, zinc and calcium, and make them harder to absorb. Once she started soaking her brown rice before cooking, her iron numbers slowly improved over the next few months. But here is the twist that even scientists did not expect. Researchers found that this same substance, the one that steals your minerals, also has a protective effect on the brain. A large study looking at seniors over 60 found that this compound acts as a shield for your nerve cells. It fights damage from harmful particles in your body. So it takes with one hand and gives with the other. The good news is that there is a simple fix. If you soak brown rice in water before you cook it, you can reduce this substance dramatically. Soaking for just 12 hours cuts it down significantly. Soaking for 2 days removes most of it. It is that simple. Now, after hearing all of this, you might be thinking brown rice sounds like trouble. But hold on. Do not jump to that conclusion yet. Brown rice is not the enemy, not even close. Let me tell you what it does right. That fiber I mentioned earlier, 3.5 grams per cup, does something wonderful for your gut. It feeds the friendly bacteria that live in your intestines. These bacteria are like little workers who keep your digestion smooth, your immune system strong, and even your mood stable. When you starve them of fiber, they struggle. Brown rice feeds them. The magnesium in brown rice is a big deal too. 1 cup gives you about 1/5 of what you need for the entire day. Magnesium helps your heart beat in a steady rhythm. It relaxes your muscles at night so you sleep better. It even helps keep your blood sugar balanced. Most Americans do not get enough magnesium, especially after 60. Brown rice also contains natural compounds that you will not find in white rice at all. These compounds are linked to a lower risk of heart problems. Some studies from Harvard suggest that eating whole grains regularly may lower your chance of heart trouble by roughly 15 to 20%. So yes, brown rice has real proven value. The problem was never the rice itself. The problem was that nobody told you the full picture. Nobody said, here are the benefits and here are the risks, and here is how to get the benefits while reducing the risks. They just said, eat brown rice and left it at that. Now let me talk about white rice, because before you decide to switch completely to white, you need to hear this part too. White rice has its own problem. When they strip away the outer layer, they remove most of the fiber, most of the vitamins, and most of the minerals. What is left is mostly starch, pure, fast-absorbing starch. When you eat a bowl of plain white rice, your blood sugar rises quickly. It is like pouring gasoline on a fire. Your body releases a big wave of insulin to bring that sugar down, and then an hour later you crash. You feel tired, you feel hungry again, and over time this roller coaster can lead to real problems. A study from Harvard found that people who ate 5 or more servings of white rice per week had a higher risk of developing blood sugar problems compared to people who ate it less often. The risk went up by about 17%. Now 17% is not catastrophic, but over years and decades it adds up, especially if you already have blood sugar concerns. And here is something most people do not think about. Even when they add vitamins and minerals back into white rice, a process called enrichment, those nutrients sit on the surface of the grain. When you rinse your rice before cooking, which many of us do, you wash most of those added nutrients right down the drain. So white rice is not innocent either. If you eat it plain by itself with nothing to slow it down, it hits your system hard and fast. My neighbor George, 70 years old, ate white rice with every meal, just rice and a little sauce. His doctor told him his blood sugar numbers were creeping up. George blamed genetics. But after he began pairing his white rice with protein, vegetables, and healthy fat, he noticed his energy felt more stable. The protein and fat slowed everything down. Same rice, different result. Now here is where this gets really interesting. This is the part that surprised me more than anything else I learned about rice. When you cook white rice, eat some of it, and then put the leftovers in the refrigerator overnight, something strange happens inside that rice. The starch molecules change their shape. They rearrange themselves into a new structure. Scientists call this resistant starch. This new structure resists digestion. Your body cannot break it down the way it breaks down regular starch. Instead, it passes through your stomach and small intestine and arrives in your large intestine mostly intact. And once it gets there, it behaves like fiber. It feeds your good gut bacteria. It produces short-chain fatty acids that protect your colon. It reduces the calories your body actually absorbs. But the most amazing part is what it does to blood sugar. A study published in a major research journal tested this on people with diabetes. They gave one group freshly cooked white rice and another group rice that had been cooked, refrigerated overnight, and then reheated the next day. The group eating the reheated rice had significantly lower blood sugar spikes. Studies showed that reheated rice had a noticeably lower glycemic response compared to freshly cooked rice. To put that in perspective, fresh brown rice sits at about 68, so the leftover white rice from last night may actually be gentler on your blood sugar than a fresh bowl of brown rice cooked today. And here is the best part. Reheating does not destroy this new structure. Once the starch rearranges itself in the cold, it stays that way even when you warm it up again. The change is permanent. Think about that for a second. The rice sitting in your refrigerator right now, the leftovers you are going to throw away, might be one of the healthiest things in your kitchen. And nobody told you. This information has been in research papers for years, while most people toss their leftover rice thinking it has gone bad. I will be honest. When I first learnt this, I thought it sounded too good to be true. Cold rice is healthier than fresh rice. But the science is solid. Multiple studies confirmed it. The molecular change is real and measurable. So now you know the full picture. Both types of rice have strengths. Both have weaknesses. The real answer is not picking one and throwing the other away. The real answer is knowing how to prepare each one correctly. Let me give you the exact steps, and please pay attention here because this is the part that makes all the difference. If you want to eat brown rice safely, here is what you do. First, choose the right variety. Basmati rice from California or India tends to have lower levels of that heavy substance than other types. This is important. Not all rice is the same. Where it is grown and what type it is can change the arsenic levels dramatically. Second, cook it using what researchers call the parboil method. It sounds fancy, but it is simple. Boil a big pot of water first. Add your rice and let it boil for 5 minutes. Then pour out that water completely. You are throwing away the water that pulled out much of the unwanted substance. Now add fresh, clean water. Cook it normally on low heat until it is done. A university in England tested this method and found it removes more than half of the unwanted substance, while keeping most of the good minerals intact. If that sounds like too much work, at least cook your brown rice with extra water, about 6 cups of water for every 1 cup of rice, and drain the excess when it is done. That alone makes a meaningful difference. And always try to soak your brown rice before cooking. Even a few hours helps reduce the compound that blocks mineral absorption. Now for white rice. The trick is simple. Cook it today, put it in the refrigerator tonight, eat it tomorrow. Quick safety note, cool the rice fast, refrigerate it within 2 hours, keep it for up to 1 day, and when reheating, make it piping hot all the way through, only reheat once. That is it. The overnight cooling transforms the starch into a healthier version of itself. You can reheat it in the microwave, on the stove, or in a pan. It still works, but here is something important. Never eat white rice alone. Always pair it with something that has protein and fat. Chicken, fish, eggs, beans, avocado, olive oil, and vegetables. When you combine white rice with these foods, the protein and fat slow down how quickly the starch hits your bloodstream. It turns a fast burn into a slow, steady release of energy. Linda, 69, made one simple change. She started cooking her white rice the night before, refrigerating it, and reheating it the next day with scrambled eggs and vegetables. She mentioned that her afternoon energy felt much steadier after making that one change. Same rice, same meals, just different timing. And here is the golden rule. Never stick to just one type of rice every single day. Alternate between brown and white throughout the week. Even better, mix in oats, barley, or quinoa. They contain much lower levels of that heavy substance and have far gentler effects on blood sugar. Barley, for example, scores around 25, less than half of brown rice. Variety truly protects you. If you're over 60 and you eat rice more than 3 times a week, drop your current type in the comments right now, brown or white, and I'll personally tell you the exact tweak you need. Before I let you go, I have to be honest, I'm not a doctor. Everything I shared is based on published research and what many people have found helpful. I cannot see your medical history. If you have diabetes, kidney concerns, or take daily medications, please talk to your doctor before making any changes. Your health is worth that conversation. Now, the thing that surprised me most wasn't the rice itself. There's another food that most people over 60 eat almost every single morning, believing it's one of the healthiest choices possible. And just like rice, the truth is far more complicated than we've been told. If you want to know exactly what that food is and what the research really says, you'll want to watch the next video.